So today we have a story of how a billion-dollar company is straight up stealing from another brand. It's really funny how they actually did it. That's because they didn't actually care to remove the stuff that would actually prove that they stole from DBrand. I mean, being a billion-dollar company, you would think that they would actually check this kind of mistakes. But just like any other big company, I guess they wanted controversy. So they did something like this. We will get into all of that, but before we begin, hit that subscribe button if you haven't. It helps me out a lot. Now, let's get back to the video. First, let's talk about the billion-dollar company. They are Casetify. Casetify is a Hong Kong company that produces phone cases and electronic accessories. They were founded in 2011 and the company first featured custom phone cases by using Instagram photos. It later expanded to selling accessories with different designs. Pretty basic story for a phone case company. They were not part of any major scandals until now. Many of the YouTubers I watch were also sponsored by the brand at some point. They seem to be legit and their phone cases were also well received. This year in March, it was reported that they sold over 15 million phone cases with over $300 million in annual revenue last year. News headlines were going wild, saying that a company which started with Instagram is now earning millions of dollars selling phone cases. Even one of the founders said that they were one of the first companies who grew from Instagram to CNBC. Their origin story was something to be inspired by, until this happened. So recently a big YouTuber by the name of JerryRigEverything, who has over 8 million subscribers, said that Casetify stole from him in his video. You can watch his video to get the full depth of how he found everything out in more detail. The story is pretty interesting, so let's get into it. JerryRigEverything does not own the idea of making cases which show internal parts of a mobile device, and neither does DBrand. So competitors are allowed to make those styles of cases if they actually open up the actual device and carefully scan them. Well, they don't even have to be carefully scanned. They just have to do some kind of work that legitimizes their work and the product they are selling. Remember that I said what Casetify did was funny? Yeah, they just straight up copy and pasted the case from DBrand and made their own product with a higher price. The case we are talking about is the teardown case, which is a joint venture between JerryRigEverything and DBrand. They have like a full partnership model going on where they both share the profit. Jerry, well, his real name is Jack Nelson. So Jack said that they, meaning DBrand and him, carefully opens up all the devices that they make the cases for and scans them to make them look as close to the original hardware underneath as possible. They look at everything from the internal wirings to every single component inside. Now, this could take a lot of time and effort to make. To make something which is an exact replica on the back of a phone case would be a hard task. Now, I don't know exactly the full process, but according to what Jack said, the task looks difficult. When I first heard about the story, I read it in a Twitter post, so I didn't know fully what was going on. I thought that if they were scanning the internal hardware to make the phone cases, so can other companies, right? They don't have the rights to own the internal hardware. So why is everyone complaining about the other company, Casetify? Well, my friend, it is because of all the things that are not in the internal hardware that tells us the whole story. If you look at the case made by Jack, he has many different Easter eggs hidden inside his case. For anyone who does not know much about him or his collab with DBrand might not notice this. For a billion-dollar company, they won't have time to go through his videos or all the posts about the Easter eggs in his cases. They would just copy and paste the design. First of all, if you are a billion-dollar company selling over 15 million cases, I'm sure you would be able to buy the DBrand cases and make a replica of it. The quality, if you compare the two, is so bad. The Casetify cases looks like there was a blur layer added to it. All the writings look so bad and blurry, it's kind of not appealing to look at. But that is not the real point here. So what Casetify did was, instead of carefully going in and removing all the Easter eggs and stuff that are not in the actual hardware of the devices, they went ahead and copied what looks like the PNG image from DBrand's website and used that directly on their phone. Let's take a look at some of them. Now again, in Jerry Rig Everything's video, he explains this stuff way better as those are his cases. The first image, if you look, Jack wrote glass is glass and glass breaks. This is a case for the Samsung S23, I believe, and that is most definitely not written by Samsung. Samsung won't write something like that on the back of their phone. Now look at the same part of the Casetify phone case. It is blurry, but we can tell that it's the same phrase. Glass is glass and glass breaks. This phrase is so unique that I don't believe that it can be a coincidence. But let's give Casetify the benefit of the doubt. Let's say that by some magical power, they got the same exact phrase in the same exact position, that they did not just copy and paste the case from DBrand. Let's take a look at another example then. Here we can see the subscribe text with a bunch of ones surrounding it. It's just a simple Easter egg where I think they jokingly put the subscribe text on the back of the case. Now if we look at the Casetify case, they did a good job to remove the subscribe text and put their own logo there. This means that they actually did look at the case to remove any resemblance they could find of DBrand and Zach. But the sad part is that they did not look at the internals of the phone. If they would have looked, they would have found that the ones that surround the text are not there. The number has a special meaning. It's a date, 11/11/11 to be exact. Now why is that a special number and not just any serial number that parts put on themselves? Well, the date is not only the date when Skyrim came out, it's also the date when DBrand first started its business. And although Casetify started in 2011, they did not start at 11/11. Now why would a company put the date of another company's start date? That's suspicious, right? Okay, enough of that. After looking at these two evidences alone, we can say that Casetify stole the product from DBrand. There are many other evidences as well. Like in here, the text says R0807, which is not a serial number. It spells out to be robot, which is the Twitter handle for DBrand's customer care or something like that. Again, you can watch Jack's video to get more in-depth knowledge about all the Easter eggs and stuff. But it is sad to see that a huge company steals product from smaller companies. Now DBrand is a large company itself, who sponsors I think all of Linus Tech Tips videos it seems. Well, that's not true, I just wanted to make a joke there, because they do sponsor a lot of the channel's video. Although DBrand is a big company, it is not big enough compared to Casetify. So if DBrand, being a smaller company, can put up time and effort along with Zach to make such a case, I'm sure Casetify can do that as well. There was no need to steal the full product that someone else put their hard time into it. You could have bought the device, pop open its back, clicked a photo and pasted that onto the back of the case. It would have not looked as good, but it would have kept you out of all the bad reputation that you are now getting. If your idea was to make a quick buck out of it, then boy did it backfire. At the time of recording the video, the website for selling these duplicate cases is down, which shows that they know that they are in trouble. And that's because in Jerry Rig Everything's video, he starts with,
"There's a company you've all heard of, that's stealing my stuff. And today we're going to fight back the way Uncle Sam intended with a lawsuit."
Yikes. I guess stealing is not really a good thing, is it? They might go from selling $300 million to losing it all in just a matter of a single year. Although the most likely outcome would be that they settle this outside of court, because I don't think there is any way that Casetify can win this one. But we may never know. Maybe they pull out something, a trump card, a Christmas miracle that could save them. But until then, they are in serious trouble. Anyway, that's the story behind a billion-dollar company stealing from a smaller company. A case where some little Easter eggs might be the downfall of a huge brand. I would love to know what your thoughts are on this one. What do you think about Casetify? Do you use their cases? Or do you use DBrand? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, consider hitting that like and subscribe button as it helps me out a lot. If you want, you can watch some of my other videos as well. See you in the next one.